Nicole, Brice here with Mixed Alternative Magazine. Welcome to our latest edition of Unscripted Verbiage. Today, we have the entire gang from Stone Deep, Nashville in the house. Now, who knows where this conversation is going to go today? It's the whole reason why it's unscripted. But I do have some talking points, and we're going to see what kind of insight the guys can add to these questions. And so let's get it going, and we'll introduce everybody. All right. We've got Tim Brooks in the house. We've got Glen Cummings. We've got Ronzo Cartwright, the Beast, which I need to know why you're called the Beast. We're going to get to that. Then we've got Terry, and then we've got David. Welcome, everybody.
Hey, welcome.
Hey. What is up? So I've got a list of talking points, but guys, this can go anywhere because I just want us to have an authentic discussion about music, the state of the industry these days, how things are different from, back when you guys started out, etc. So we're just going to get into it. So for those not familiar with Stone Deep, the hardcore, Ludacris, Scatterbrain, all the different bands that, you guys have been associated with over the years, I figured we'd dive right in and we'd start talking about the hardcore. So brief history, 1991, you guys signed with Interscope. You had Death Before Dishonor, co-produced by Jam Master Jay, legendary Jam Master Jay of Run DMC. And then this I didn't know, so I found this out today, actually reading y'all's Wikipedia. So Grammy Award winner Phil Nicolo of the Butcher Brothers, too.
Yes.
So I did not know that. So he also co-produced the first album. So let's take everybody through a little history.
Well, so Joe the Butcher, actually, we recorded at his studio in Philly for the hardcore. So that variation of the band, it still hears me and Terry Hayes, DJ KUTT, who was part of the hardcore at the time. We had signed the Interscope Records. We had like 6 labels tried to sign us, and they did a big Hollywood number on us, with the dining in and all that stuff. So it was pretty crazy, but Philly was hopping in. Cypress Hill was just released the first off of Joe Butcher's label. It was called Pigs, I think was the first single they had. And then they had Criss Cross was down the street. Jermaine Dupri and all of them was sitting in. Jam Master Jay knew him. Patti LaBelle was doing some cuts downstairs with this big producer, Michael. It was hopping. I mean, actually, music was really live back then. You could cross and find a lot of different bands and music sources and stuff. I think that's the difference now back then and now, because it's a little spread out, But yeah, we started out with hardcore, and then later on that, once it started going down a little bit, we was going to change the name of the band. Well, before that, we our guitar player had left the band, and we had called Glenn through a mutual friend to come and play some shows with us. Fantastic story, though. This is back when cassettes was actually still in your cars. We sent Glenn a cassette of our album to come and just, do a little pickup show. He actually listening to it. I think it's a 17-hour drive from Long Island to here. Shows up, no practice. Like literally, we've never played together. He walks on, doing sound check, and said, "Hey, what key is that in?" That right there. Gotcha. And we played through the whole show. It was magnificent. Wow. Yeah. To me, I was just like, we're done here. Like, this guy's not going to be able to leave.
I remember you telling me that because you were like, he was just incredible. He had never played with us, and he came down and he just knocked it out of the park.
I mean, the whole thing, And like, to the point where if he broke a string, he just kept playing. It was just weird. Like, he could play upside down and just all kind of crazy.
Good. You got skills.
I think we had just been on the road with Scatterbrain for 2 years straight. So we were doing 100 or 150, 160 shows a year. So if you just do it all the time, you can actually learn stuff really, really fast. Plus, I listened to the tape or CD or whatever it was for 17 hours straight. I was hypnotized by it. So
it was ingrained in your brain at that point. You're like, I've got this.
And that was the first time. Yeah, that was the first time performing with Ron and Terry, Kelly Butler.
Yeah.
Kenny Owens was playing drums at that point, and was Bob still kind of doing some vocals? No, he had already kind of he had already kind of left.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know y'all had several lineup changes over the year, and I kind of made a note about when each one of you came into the mix with everything. So I mean, you guys have all been around since, I mean, early '90s together playing music. So I mean,
Oh yeah,
that's like a brotherhood at this point, you know?
yeah. It's actually go ahead, Dave.
No, I was going to say it is. Yes, definitely. I mean, the bond between us, the time we spent together playing for sure.
And you know,
Yeah,
it's hard to find that these days. I've noticed with like a lot of the younger bands, like there's such quick turnover with band members. There's no cohesiveness, there's no brotherhood. It's like a lot of these people get into it for the wrong reasons. It's not just about the music anymore, you know?
yeah. The whole thing is like, back in the day, and even like with real good bands, it's more of a family show, extended family. So if it's not like family, then you're quick to cheat, get out, find a
Hmm.
better band, or get tired of something. And it's about the grind. I don't think people realize that to be a really good band, you have to go through some sort of grind together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We went through shows where we had to remember this one show where we had to set up the PA system? Like this guy invited us to play in like Warren, Ohio or something. We drive all the way out there and there was no stage equipment. We was like, well, where's the stage equipment? He said, yes, over there in the corner. You guys set it up. Y'all can play whenever y'all feel like it.
Wow.
So we set it up.
Set it up however you like.
However you like. So we actually set it up, did our own sound check. Remember that, Glenn?
That's awesome.
Out in the corner, but you know what? Most bands nowadays they'd be like, "We're not gonna do that. We're gonna have." If 5 people came here to see it, 5 people gonna get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It actually ended up being about 200, kids ran through that. It was good.
That's just crazy. And so, I mean, I guess my first question for you guys, because I mean, I want this to be unscripted, of course, but what differences being, so you guys, of course, obviously veterans of the biz, so what differences are you seeing with a lot of these younger musicians and artists that you're coming into contact with? Do you feel that they're all in it for the right reasons, or do you feel like they're in it for the wrong reasons?
What do you think?
That's a hard question to answer, I would say.
I guess it's all over the place, It's like people have as diverse an experience now. Like I'm not even sure. Like when I started playing, I was just excited. Like I didn't even know that I could be in a band. Right. And I went and I saw, I would like see arena shows and go see like the Grateful Dead and the Allman Brothers, and I'd be like, that's so amazing. It was like a different world.
Right.
And then when I started to go to like punk rock and hardcore shows, it was like the guys who play, like first you were standing outside the club and there was just like a bunch of guys and you were talking to the guys because there's nobody there. Mm-hmm. And then some of the people you were talking to got up on stage and played.
Right. Yeah.
And they were like, oh shit, those guys were the band. And then afterwards they got off and like another bunch of guys that you were talking to like got up on stage and played. And you'd be like, oh, okay. They're just like, it's just like me and you, except they've been here a little longer or whatever. And I was like, oh, I could totally do that. But I didn't have like a big picture of like, I want it to be like this or like that. And I feel like when you're, everybody has their own reasons, but I feel like when you're young, you're just like, whoa, I love music. I like to be involved with this.
Yeah, and I think also like the difference now, like back then, it was a little more camaraderie because like a lot of like let's say any town, right? All the bands would come and see each other,
right?
You know what I mean? Like we used to play at Exit In, a lot of places out here, the basement, all this stuff, and all the other bands would be there. And I'd go out if I wasn't playing on the weekend, I would go see the bands play. And I think it was more like just more of a home team. Like people really support each other, like at a greater. I think the scene was just bigger that way because you can get their fans, our fans, you know what I mean, to be at all the shows because they know there was like maybe record labels there or somebody important that could help them out. It seems like today you're either, like socially conscious, doing something important, or you just pop. Like there's no really, it's just a big divide in it right now, you know what I mean? Plus music quality. I think there's still I've seen some good bands lately that I really like. So it's not like there's no music quality bands, but there are some that just hacking away right now, just trying to be whatever's cool instead of being.
Yeah. I really like the young bands that are like, that are just like we play with this band called the Shanks from Bowling Green. And they're like, they're like high school, you know, or just like out of high school and stuff.
Mhm.
And it's just like they're just making up music and playing it and totally going for it. And it, you know, it's just beautiful because it's like,
Yeah.
it's not like they made up a big concept or whatever.
Mhm.
It's like it's all straight from the heart. And then there's
Drew,
a bunch like Dinosaur,
yeah,
Oatmeal,
that's
or like
Drew the Drifter. I think he
Drew
was
the
pretty
Drifter.
cool. We've seen them. Season Desist. I think they're from Memphis, kind of Memphis, Nashville
Mhm.
collab. They get up and rock hard like those. Bria, there's another lady that does like Black Lady does punk rock. So it's some good talent out there. It's just
Yeah.
everybody got to galvanize a little better though, I think.
But I mean, from you know your perspective, I mean, you've played a few shows now as you know reunited, you know, Stone Deep. Do you see the people coming out to really support the local acts as much as they used to? Because I know from my standpoint, just being where I'm at, it's like you know we don't really have a cohesive scene anymore. You have
Right.
pockets, and then you know like sometimes you'll get a full packed house for a show. Sometimes there'll be like 5-10 people there. You know, it just
Yeah.
all depends.
Yep.
But I mean. Do you think that people maybe are just, you know, hesitant to get out and socialize post COVID, or what do y'all think it is, you know?
I think it's more that we have to reestablish the scene. I think the
Mhm.
scene's been our old scene has been overrun, you know, with corporate interests. So
Mhm.
a lot of the places that we used to go and rock at are not even that no more.
Right.
Actually, the wrong people are there. So there are some new clubs that's popping up, some really good ones in Nashville. I'm really surprised. And we just got to start getting people and the bands that all vibe together to start regularly playing together. And that's
Mhm.
when you see like big crowds showing up.
Well,
Yeah.
David, I know you've been going out to shows like probably the most out of it. Well, the most out of any of us. What do
Yeah.
you what do you? But
There-
you're
there-
kind of like you're across the range. You go to see like popular stuff and hard rock stuff and heavy metal stuff and
but no country.
but no country stuff.
Get that up.
You're not
Yeah.
in the. What are you
Anyway,
seeing?
it's different. It's a different scene now. There is a clique. There is people that follow certain people, you know, certain bands and go around. I'll run into some of the same people when I do get out. But it's harder to find that. You know, as Ronzo was pointing out back in the day when we did it, everybody went. There
Yeah.
was only a handful of clubs in town, so
Right.
you were gonna see people that you knew. But
Mhm.
it's a whole bigger, broader
Right,
world.
right.
So
Right, that's a difference too, right? Like I'm speaking from experience, not in Nashville, but like, you know, kind of New York. There weren't that many bands, and there weren't that many clubs. You know, like if you think about like, and I'm talking about like a more of the hardcore world in the '80s. There was like one club, and then like some clubs that would occasionally open,
Mhm.
and then in town there were maybe like 5, 8 bands, 10 bands, and then
Right.
people would come in from out of. So it was like if one of those, and you wouldn't go see all those bands every week, right?
Right.
Like they would kind of
Right.
alternate because nobody played the same show twice. So you would only play a show when you made up some new songs, or
Mhm.
so it was like a cycle of like maybe every 2 months or 3 months that something was kind of happening and people were coming in. Now look at 2024. How many bands are there in Nashville? Thousands.
Mhm.
There's
You
a
know,
lot.
there's like
Yeah.
thousands and thousands. And how many venues? Like dozens, you know?
yep. There
And so
is.
as far as I guess you could say the quality of the music that, you know, is being put out these days, do you guys feel like people are relying too much on technology to try to, you know, get their sound, I guess, defined? Or do you think just creativity, you know, in general is kind of just fallen by the wayside because we do have too much technology? Because like, I'll give you an example. So like, you know, I listen to new music every single day, and sometimes you get stuff that's really stripped down and you can hear the artistry really speak to you through the music. But then sometimes I'll get something and it's so overproduced and it has so many effects on it. And it's almost to the point where it's like, how can I even enjoy this as an art form when it's just so processed, you know? So, I mean, what do you guys think about like the state of the industry these days and the product that's being put out?
Well,
Sorry,
I think, go ahead.
I was gonna say that my cat keeps jumping in front of the camera.
Oh, you're all good.
Well, yeah. So
That's an analog cat. That's not a computer generated cat.
so if you don't have an analog cat, in your environment, then you're probably going to end up over processed in the first place.
You need one. Everybody needs
Yeah.
one.
So one thing you got to understand. So if you're really going to be a good band, first you need one drum.
One drum.
One
And
drum, not one
bunch
drum
of
player.
red cymbals.
One drum, one cat.
One drum.
No,
And then
bunch of red-
one analog cat that's going to bring it all together. So that's what we'll be doing. I will say this. When me and Glenn first started writing together, he had said something that stick with me, and I've always used this as my guide for writing. He said, hey, man, you know, if you want a good song, if you could play it acoustic without all, you know what I mean, just hop up there, bass, drums, guitar, and you can knock it out acoustic without a bunch of effect. If it sounds good, then it'll sound good with everything else. So that's how we kind of write. So it's like any song we have, we can go out in the middle of the street and play that thing. And that's where the real artistry comes in. I think people rely a lot now on the digital to carry them. It's supposed to be like just sprinkling or icing on your cake. It's not supposed to be part of your band. But I see that a lot. I see that even in movies right now where some comedies I can't watch because it's what I call canned comedy. You know what I mean? Like they actually don't act. They just take people and they just say like, he's behind me, isn't he? That's going to leave a mark. Like it's just you know what I mean? It's all a cut and paste thing that gets you a reaction. And you don't want newer bands or bands doing that. You want them to just sit down, come up with something you like, stick by it. You know what I mean? Like what they call stand on business now, you know? So I think the time for us to be out and playing right now is because it's like there's two generations that's really liking our music now. And that's what I like the people that seen us back in the day and the newer generation that's enjoying it for the first time and still recognizing it's good music. So, and I love playing with younger bands. I see all that energy and the fire and to see the hope, you know, of them. And I think, like Glenn said, it's real. Like we'll see them and we'll sit and watch them and be like, yeah. So I could see a little, you know, yeah. One band, what's that? Catch Fire we played with. You know what I mean? Like, I think those kids came out. They had their fire. They actually was smarter than I think we were when we was younger. Because the kid promoted his own show. You know what I mean? He had his parents involved. I talked to his parents. They said they made a deal with him. Which I wish my parents did this. They said go to school, get a business degree, and we'll help fund your career.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So the kid know what he's doing. He know how to book the shows. You know what I mean? They had their gear together, load in, stuff like that. So there is some really cool kids and really I can say. But
Right.
Yeah,
There's
young
like
artists. Yeah.
they're figuring out the whole thing in some way. I mean, that's the role of technology too, right? It's like it's not just for the music making, but all of a sudden, like people can use the internet to book shows and to promote things. You know, it's like we all walked around with flyers for years, and I still probably have some holes in my thumb from
the hammer. We used to have a little thing you hang up stuff.
Oh, I remember that. I used to do it for my friends.
Yeah.
I'm 42, about to be 43. Okay, so like I've been there. I know.
Yeah, we go in and just blanket at night, hit with the hammer.
Yep.
And then see who
and
comes
after about 2 hours of trying to do this, you know, put it up and hit the thing in the corners, you inevitably wind up with like a couple of staples in your hands, and it's like you know, it's like the price you pay for promotional. You didn't have to pay Instagram. You paid with your
work sweat,
with your fingers and everything else. I mean, so like promotion now, you know, these days we've got social media, but like it's a blessing and a curse. Because like I'll give you an example, y'all. I posted about this yesterday. So Facebook, they restricted me for 2 days in a row, and all I was doing was loving people's stuff, because they say if you heart people's stuff on Facebook, it pushes their stuff up in the algorithm. So dude, I'm trying to get people's stuff seen, right? 2 days in a row, I got flagged, and it said I couldn't like or love anybody's stuff. And I'm like, but I didn't do anything wrong. And it kept saying I was going against their community standards. I'm like, spreading positivity is going against community standards? Like, what the, you know?
Yeah, that's the form of control that we have to like battle with right now, because I put a small video out asking if anybody wants to, for free, because we got some people trying to monetize, but just, you know, be part of the road crew. come out, we'll teach you a little bit about music and marketing, do
Mm-hmm.
with our shows. Some people, one guy said, "Yeah, I would love to do that." And he got back. Remember that? One of the guys got like cut off for a few minutes. But it looked like he was trying to sell something. It's like, no, he's just trying to interface with the band. So yeah, you got to get around all that. I want people to be able to. I think the biggest thing that's missing, in my opinion, right now, is actual physical connection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like Glenn was saying, like what I love most about touring, like when we was out with Ice-T, Body Count, Fishbone, Primus, in our hardcore days, 24/7 Class, Run DMC,
Mm-hmm.
Third Base, all these people, I would go out and literally physically, you know what I mean, shake hands, give them a pound, see what they talking about. Right now, it's so disconnected. It's like, text me, IM, DM.
Mm-hmm.
But the human effect of like actual communication needs to come back.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
it's like people forgot how to socialize,
Yeah, they really do. Like, I mean, literally eye contact, people looking at the floor. I had one show, a guy would really like the band, said something, he apologized for like being too close. I was like, what? You know what I mean? He was like, oh, sorry. I was like, that's stupid. And I hugged him. I was like, what are we doing here? Like, is this what we're doing? I'm not doing that. I mean, we're gonna bring people together just so we can talk to them. Now come
Right,
up.
it's like you go see a show and the kick drum and the bass is like pushing your rib cage in,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're really feeling it. You feel no physical, like you feel completely like you're physically affected by the people playing music. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like there's no difference between getting pounded by the bass and hugging somebody, or it's like a physical experience that everybody experiences together.
Well, it's all about the
that's
energy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the energy.
It's the energy, yeah.
That's what struck me about the hardcore, like the original, that very first show was like there was this insane magical energy
Mm-hmm.
with Ron and Terry and the other guys on stage. It was just like the distance between the audience and the people playing music, there was no distance. It was just like,
Right.
here's the stage, here's the people. It was just like, and everybody was like in one thing. And I was like, that's what music is.
Yeah, it's all about the energy and the experience. I agree. And another thing too, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but like I'm the type of person that if I'm going to a show in this day and age, I may have my cell phone with me and I may record like one song, just to say, hey, look, I was here, whatever. But what do you guys think about people bringing their phones to a show and then recording the whole damn show? Like, what's the purpose in that? It's like you're not even in the moment, enjoying the music and the vibe because you're too damn busy holding up your stupid freaking phone. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, I think that that's a product of our times.
Yeah,
like it's a learned behavior. Like nobody's like the whole like when we're talking about the connection with people.
Mm-hmm.
It's so distant that's what you think you should do. It's like instead of bringing your friend that you're FaceTiming to watch it, like bring them.
Yeah.
And then both of y'all, watch the thing. So you have to get a balance. But as long as now our new show is going to be about like bringing people together. You know what I mean? Bringing the fun back. You know what I mean? No shame. You know what I mean? No discrimination. Like if you're bringing hate or any kind of weird stuff in, I'm going after you.
That's what I'm saying.
Not with that. We're just gonna come in. If you want to dance in the corner, fine. If you want to dance, close to the stage, fine. If you want to, do whatever you want to do. So we're trying to just bring that back or just enhance it more, I guess, because it's like I do like playing with the newer bands, and I think a lot of them have great intention and great energy. But I think people really need to learn how to like pull themselves out more, like come out, leave it out there, and then let's exchange energy.
Be authentic.
You come to the show, you said, be authentic.
Yep.
But don't be ashamed.
I feel like we're lacking authenticity just in society these days. It's all about just what can I portray to the public? Like everything's fake and manufactured, and and I won't even go into the whole plastic surgery craze. I
Oh yeah. So it's so crazy. Like
women, y'all. Some of these women with these lips, like they huge, and I'm looking at, I'm like, bruh, who told you that looked good?
And then who is that for? Like I don't even like a lot of that stuff is not for us. ain't for me, and it's just for something. It's what, like, back to the algorithm. You know what I mean? Like, I wrote a song about the, you know what I mean, fighting the algorithm, and you know what I'm saying, what they tell you to do. Oh, this looks good. That looks good. Why you don't look that? Oh, we're gonna judge you. It's just like digital shame. I'm gonna write a song. Anyway, I've been writing a lot lately. Like,
well, good. So tell us about that.
You tell us, Glenn. I've been
Come on.
bugging him.
What we got going on? What's in the pipeline for Stone Deep? Because I kind of got the idea that you guys might be going on tour soon because of Ronzo's post the other day asking for roadies and things like that. So what we got going on in the mix, guys? When can I see y'all live? Come to Louisiana, please.
Let's go. I mean,
let's go.
Back to suitcase, back to bags, gentlemen.
Yeah, so just in a nutshell, without writing a single song, we have almost 4 albums, including the Kung Fu Grip we just released.
Right.
So we have lots of music. But in addition to that, for some real reason, my chakra and my third eye is like literally wide open while my energy is just like beaming right now. So we're up to, as far as having song hooks and melodies, I'm up to how many, Glenn?
I think you hit 86 songs so far. So first we were thinking, well, can we put enough things together maybe for a next album? And David has a studio set up that he's kind of been producing and working with bands like in his as an extension of his house. So we were thinking, well, we could start kind of there. And then Ron started kind of songs started manifesting in Ron's head. And I said, well, just send them to me. I'll kind of archive them. And then the rest of us will kind of put music to it and we'll kind of work that way. I was thinking, maybe we'll get like 20 songs and, pick the best 6 or something and record them. Well, it's been a couple of months, so we're up to 86 now.
Wow.
So the idea that the next thing we do is release an album, it seems like we have too much excellent material. Like we haven't really fully, like we're just kind of demoing it, but like we're up to 86 songs and it's like flowing like several songs a day.
That's incredible.
And it's not, I mean, these are hot fire too, not like, just some random. But right now, where my energy is at, I wrote songs I wrote one that's concerning you too, by the way, which is weird, but cool. Did you know that?
No.
I'll let you in on it one day. But you remember you posted that you needed 10 people to get to a certain number?
Yeah.
And then I started hitting people to get you to 10 people. Yeah, it's like anything like that, stuff like that sparked me. And then actually, you might be up for 2 because one day, somebody said something about you and I got really mad. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. So I can't really say. I'll just say somebody who used to be really close to, they basically one day just decided to attack me and they said mean things about my son. They said mean things about me as a writer and all this. And like, I'm at that point in my life where you're going to bring that negativity to me. Like at first it's going to go in one ear and out the other because I don't want that energy on me, But then like I'll have those moments where I sit back and think and I'm like, well, but they said these things about me. So could it be true? So it's like, I think we all have those moments. So it's like an ego.
Yeah, but I didn't let you get down. I was like, no.
Oh, I know you had my back. I'm like, it made me so happy to see that I have this army, behind me. Everyone's supporting me because I mean, what we're doing is not easy. We're building something from scratch,
It's a tribe. Think about any great movie where there's a big kingdom and then all the townspeople and the town folks finally band together and they express what they need to do. This is what underground music really is. It's just about tribes. Think of each band as being different tribes. You know what I mean? Like tribe leaders, and then their bands are their tribes. Right? It's some people got 100, some people got 1,000, 10,000, whatever. If you put them all together, you end up with 500,000. So it's just that's the whole point. It's just to get that energy, put it out. I've been writing now for like just anything. Like I wrote a song about the algorithm because, like I said something random and they told me that you can't like or, do anything until we feel like it. I'm like, what? Okay, what's the HOA? This is an HOA for music. I want to put a red door on. Nah, we don't like red doors. something else.
I will say this much. So this is an idea, and like this is
Mhm.
something that's still in the idea stages. So hopefully maybe even you guys can help me with this. But I want to develop a social media platform, kind of like what MySpace was back in the day for emerging artists. But I
Right.
want the social media platform to be specific for musicians, artists, creative types. Like you cannot sign up for this platform that I'm, in the preliminary
Right.
stage. You have to be in some type of creative capacity to join. Like,
Right.
I'm not going to let like, my mom join, the platform or something. But basically, I want a streamlined platform just for creatives to be able to get their shows out there, their music out there, but also to actually be seen and heard without the confines of the Facebook algorithm, because
Right.
in fact, I did a test recently. This was about 6 months ago. I did a test with the algorithms because I was like, you know what, let me try something because our stuff just wasn't getting pushed. And I'm like, bro, what can I do to break through this? I made a stupid post, y'all. Dumbest
Yep.
post ever. It was about like what bands would charge back in the 1960s and early 70s to play a show. And I put that up on our page. It had like 14,000 likes and like a gajillion people shared it. And it was just nonsense. And I'm like,
Yep.
but at the end of the day, that's what these platforms are pushing. They're pushing the nonsense instead of the real content. So it's like, if we can't get these platforms to work for us, then why not create our own?
Yep. Because I can get 1,000,000 likes or views if I wore a dress. Like seriously, or just did something clownish, like for real. Like
Yeah,
literally, now I will preface by saying I wear a kilt, which is not the same. I do love my kilt, but I could
That's
just
okay. I got friends that have kilts, so it's all
I
good.
could put a dress on or something odd that just like makes me look like a big buffoon, and it would just be, you know what I mean? And that's what they're selling.
I'll get you a dress, Ron.
I already have one. I just couldn't.
It's got to be a Dickies, like a gray Dickies dress.
Oh, yes. We could have a special Dickies dress made for you. That would be awesome. No, but seriously, like, you shouldn't have to resort to something like that to get your craft seen and heard. And so like, I feel just authenticity in general is what's missing from the scene these days. And so that's like why I told Glenn recently, your band, your music, your lyrics are important for what we have going on in this day and age, because that's another thing. People have lost the ability to be able to think for themselves. They are too easily influenced by what's being thrown at them. But it's like, you've got to be able to decipher the bullshit from what's true.
Right.
And a lot of these people, they can't differentiate between the two, and it's sad. So it's like, I'm hoping as we get, bands like you guys and other bands that have an authentic message behind the music, I'm hoping as we get this to the forefront, hopefully we can change the consciousness of a lot of these people and change their way of thinking too,
Yeah, and it's even like as far as way of thinking, it's to give them more choices. I think the choices have been taken away.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think like back in the day, we knew like, okay, I could say this, I could say that, but if I say it hard enough and a bunch of people like it, they're gonna put it out, right?
Yeah.
Now it's just like, no, you got to say this. Like if you're a girl, then you got to have something hanging out. Or if you don't have a bunch of tattoos, or if you have to be in this mode of that, or you can't be anything. And then instead of fighting for it, people are like, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do. Like nobody told them like, hey, I think what's missing is the big uncles. You know what I mean? Like you remember like back in the day, you always had an older member of your family be like, boy, what you doing? Like you need to stop doing that. That's stupid. Why are you doing that? Like nobody, there's no sound of, you know what I mean, of those people just coming in and just be like, no, you're not supposed to do that. You can be great and still not do that, right? So
I guess I'm that uncle then in a way, because I'm gonna be honest. Let me tell y'all this story right now and get y'all's input on this. So we unscripted, we going unscripted. So when I took music class, back in the day, because I'm old now, but they taught us about Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, the greats, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Check this out, y'all. My daughter is 6 years old. She comes home from school one day, tells me, Mommy, we had music class today and they taught us about Taylor Swift. I looked at her, y'all. I said, Taylor Swift, huh? I said, baby, our house and our car is a Taylor Swift free environment. You are not allowed to listen to her music. And so, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, what is it about this woman that people are so obsessed with? And so, one day I asked Taylor Swift fan, I said, what is it that you find so appealing about her and her music? Why do you like, oh, well, she writes her own music. I'm like, dude, most real musicians write their own music. Like, that's nothing new, you know? But it's like, if you really think about it, what is the key takeaway message that she is giving to young girls and females to really be a role model? And to me, the only message she's given is you break up with guys and then you write shitty songs about them, you know? So, I mean,
But that's just it. People are attracted to the drama. They're attracted
Yeah.
to the drama. You know what I mean? Heartbreak or failure or shame. Like, even though people say they're rail against it, like the big hit songs are saying something bad about, like rap songs now. It's all about something bad.
yeah.
I mean, somebody else's failure. And it, instead of telling them to lift themselves out of it, they
Right.
get to relate to it.
Yeah,
I
like
think
where's the positivity? You know, it's all like, woe is
Right.
me, someone did me wrong, go yada yada. But it's like, where's the positive message? Like, how are you trying to truly uplift a, you know, a community of young individuals? It's like, it's just not there, you know?
I think it's such an interesting question, you know, like and it's like, you know, like when I started playing music was
Cheers.
like all the pop stuff was like prog rock, or you know, like the stuff that's come back, but now people like it because it's kind of corny and like fun. But it was like that was what everybody was against, and like the punk rock stuff was like against that. But now it's like we're in a different world where I think like if you want to help bring like, you know, a positive message or a kind of more authentic music experience to people, it's like you almost have to like accept whatever they're interested in. You know, it's be like, oh, if you like Taylor Swift, who writes her own songs, you may check out these guys. They're, you know, they're gonna write their own songs too, but it
Right.
sounds different, right? Like, so it's like you can write your own songs and it can be this or that. Or like the thing about the Mozart and the Bach and stuff, this is a slight tangent, but there's this old like Frank Zappa clip from maybe it's like the Senate hearings, the PMRC Senate hearings in the
I think I
80s,
remember seeing that.
where they said, Mr. Zappa, do you feel like your music is obscene? And he says something like, well, sir, are you telling me that some combination of musical notes put in a certain arrangement could be obscene? He's like,
Right.
or do you mean to say that like my lyrics are obscene? Or he's like, are you talking about music, or are you talking about kind of lyric, you know, like lyrics?
Right.
And of course, they were just like, they didn't kind of know what he was talking about.
Right.
And I think that's the thing about like listening to Bach or listening to this classical stuff. It's like whether you like it or not, you start to hear like how emotion is conveyed through like a set of rhythms and notes. And
Right.
like, and if you're a musician it doesn't matter if you're a hip hop guy or you're a Taylor country guy or whatever.
Anything.
Like,
Which I'm not a fan of country, I'll just be honest. So I'm with you on that, David.
all those things.
Let me tell you
it's helpful.
Yeah. My take on country is so new country is shite. Old original country is offset of original.
I'll agree. Give me some Hank Williams any day.
Right. So if you go all the way back to like the original country, it's just like blue stories told by country people. You know what I mean? It made sense. Like somebody was in that, like they were saying about their mom and what their dad told. You know what I mean? Now it's just like, to me, it's almost like a buffet, you know, like they just sit in there and they go, okay, country, let's put some rock to it. Oh yeah, we got a hit. Oh, they don't like that no more. Okay, well, take the rock guy out, put a rock girl in there, but do country. No, okay, what about some black people? They love black people. Throw black people in there. Go. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's good right there. You know what I mean? They're like, I'm gonna call this too. 2 years away from disco country. 2 years. But I've been able to call it every year. They just go through cycles of like, what can I add in there?
Yeah.
And I even called Chris Stapleton. I said a year before he came out, because I used to work for Bridgestone Arena down there for doing shows. And I said, man, with all this pop and this crap going on, the first guy to come with a big bushy beard and some rusty springs is gonna kill everybody. And guess what happened? Boom, because it always loops back around. Same thing with Nirvana. We had the big hair in the 90s and you know, White Snake and the whole bit, and then he came Dirty Strings, grunge. So everything is a cycle. But the difference now is there's always been bands in any genre that stuck up for that genre and brought it back to its originality. Now we don't have that. It's just drifting away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rap used to come back. Country come back. You know what I mean? Rock could go back to its core roots. Punk would emerge again. Punk will always come in a different iteration, but it'll always come back, the underground version of it. Then it'll go pop, Green Day, and then it'll have to go back through its loop again. So the fact that some kind of way, but the industry is. Go ahead.
You guys have kids too. Like what are your kids like? Like Tim, what are your kids listening to? What's hot now?
Yeah, what's hot? That's what I'm curious to know. Because like, you know, my kids aren't old enough to tell me.
What are you going? Turn that down.
Yeah, what are you yelling at them about?
My oldest daughter's a metalhead, grunge head. She comes up with bands names I never heard of. So, but my other daughters listen to, I don't know, they listen to all kind of stuff. That's where I'm blessed that they have heard all kind of stuff that I listen to. So that's what they listen to also. They got a real broad spectrum of music and stuff that they like. So
yeah,
even though Olivia Rodrigo, I do not like.
I'm not a fan either. So
yeah, I mean, one of them likes that girl a lot. Yeah, it's sad. I lost my man songs.
Terry, what's on? What's getting played over there?
Nothing.
Silence.
My son doesn't listen to music. My oldest daughter, you know, she's with the government, so she doesn't really listen to a lot of things. Youngest daughter, fitness trainer, she plays a lot of new rap songs that they actually put together a mix for the gym that they work out to some of the stuff. I was like, next. Oh, all right, I'm done with this one.
Yeah.
Too energized.
Well, it's just whatever is the hottest, newest thing that, you know, 30, 40-year-olds are listening to now. And again, it's all different. I mean, from where we used to be. I mean, going from, you know, be a house party DJ to a turntablist, you know, it's just totally different. Like, you know, me coming back, you know, starting back with the band, basically teaching myself over again on what I used to master. I mean, that used to be me. I used to be it. You know, I've been in the studio with, you know, Jay. I've been on the stages with all types of, you know, DJs, been threatened to bring in other DJs to my part in the studio. Yeah. So technology and just some of the thought patterns and stuff of like the music that is out now is nowhere where we were.
Yeah, I agree.
And that goes with bands also. Our mentality when, you know, the hardcore was, you know, we came in, we did our thing. We didn't care if the walls fell down. We dropped the mic at the end of it, say, follow that if you can.
Yeah.
And it don't matter who we open for.
Yeah, it don't matter. Stone Deep, same way.
Yeah.
We played in New York for the Grammy Best Sounding Band in America.
I saw it. Yeah, the showcase. Yeah.
Yeah, the New York band there come in. It was like, hey, you guys look like Garbage Man. And I was like, that's your Garbage Man. We went on and laid waste to him. So it's all about, you know, loving your music. I think what makes us good is that we love what we do. We're confident in what we're doing, and we're unapologetic. Like, I like being in a band where I don't have to explain shit to nobody. I'm not explaining shit to y'all. Like, either you get it or you don't. You know what I mean? The only thing I'll explain to you is if you're being some kind of a-hole If you disrespecting somebody or some of my people, I'm gonna get in your shit. That's all I'm gonna explain. Other than that, love the music. Feel free to hate it. Haters are good. You know what I mean? Love those. Sit on the outside and watch it if you want to. But I think the combination that we have right now of us five, that's the lock and key right there. So
yeah.
Our groove section, I'll stack them up. Tim and Dave, anybody, bring them. Y'all want to bring some groove section and try to match up with us? Please feel free to come on in. That's your funeral. You know what I mean? I stick by them. They've saved my ass many times on stage while I'm fumbling through whatever it is I'm fumbling through. You know what I mean? So, and nobody knows because it's good, pure music, and the solid. It's solid. You know what I mean? As long as we're solid, then I feel good about that.
Well, I've got one more question for you guys as part of our discussion, and then we'll wrap up because I don't want to take up too much of your time. But my last question I had put, let's have a discussion about if you could give any advice to an up and coming musician about just making music and just how to navigate, the industry in general, what advice would you give?
We have two theories. And I give you the first one is don't play bass. And the bass player will tell you what would you tell him, Tim?
I don't know.
Probably don't play guitar.
Yeah, don't play guitar. Don't play bass.
Don't play bass and don't play guitar.
Yeah, if you want to be noticed, don't play bass.
Don't play bass, don't play guitar, and probably Dave will tell you don't be the lead man.
Yeah.
Don't let the lead man take your cymbals away.
Yeah, don't let the lead man take your cymbals away. But on the real, I would say for younger artists today, I would say be more original and be more intentional and being yourself. Like, don't try to make your band sound like the newest band is out, because by the time you come out, it'll be old. You know what I mean? And I do know that if you write good music, it's always good music. And I think that's the difference between a Stone Deep style band and somebody else's. It was good when we made it. It's good now. The other 85 songs are going to be as good as it's ever going to be, because it comes from a real place, from real musicians with like an honest vibe about it. You know what I mean? So
I think that's like I think that's like what Ron just said. I think it's like the biggest point, which is it's almost like it doesn't matter if it's Stone Deep music from 1996 or if it's songs from right now. It's like there's a certain
yesterday.
There's literally yesterday. There's just literally a chemistry of the band that makes a kind of thing, and it's not like the old stuff was good and the new stuff is bad. It's just all like it's all part of the same thing. So like if you've heard like a tune or whatever that connected with you, then you're gonna connect to the other stuff. It doesn't matter if it was like super aggressive metal song, or it's like a groovy song, or it's a song that uses drum machines, or if Terry's on turntable, or if Terry's on vocals, or if Ron's kind of doing a crazy thing, or he's kind of chilled out. It's like you get it as part of a whole thing. It's like it's almost like if you like the Beatles, then you can navigate your way from the White Album to like the Beatles 65 or something. You can see that it's one sort of thing. And there's a kind of real magic to that, which is like maybe I can just say one little bit, which is like if you have some magic with the people you're with, that's the thing that makes the sound. So my piece of advice would be like get into a band with people who are more talented than you, or that are naturals. Like, don't try to be the best guy in the band. Try to be the worst guy in the band. Like, get people like who just when they play, like you're just like, oh shit, that's what I like. Like, it didn't come out of you, it came out of the guy next to you. And then that's the thing that makes the sound. Right? If you want to be the leader of the band, don't be in that band. Be in the band where like somebody else is like, the most he makes sounds that you never heard before, and somebody else kicks a beat where it's like it speaks to your heart, or somebody's so talented they could do any of it, and every single thing they touch just kind of makes it just happen, right?
Terry, Tim, and David, what y'all got as far as advice for up and coming musicians?
I'd like to say they need to be honest about what they're going to put out. Be focused as to what you want your outcome to be. You want to be, are you looking to make a hit record now, or you're trying to build yourself up, or is it just something that you and 4 other people needed to do on a weekend?
Right.
To be honest about what you're trying to do, and go for that. Because if you're not, you're going to come out trying to do one thing and sounding like another.
Yeah. Dave?
Yeah, I said just do it because you love it.
Yeah.
Best advice there is. What about you, Tim?
No.
I would say don't go into it, you're going to make this beat or make this song. Don't go into it thinking that you're going to make money.
Yeah.
Because if you'll always be knocking on that door. As long as you stay, it's like guys tell me, it doesn't matter what you can put a $5,000 bass in your hand or a $200 bass in your hand, it still sounds like you.
Yeah.
So as long as you're true to you, then it'll always move the way you want it to.
But speaking of badass basses, can we see that Red Devil? Show it to us. This is the baddest shit I've ever seen.
Let me see this. Oh wow, that's pretty.
That's
what kind of bass is that?
It's a low end. They're made here in Nashville. They're handmade one by one.
Wow, so that's handmade specific for you.
It was it was handmade. I ended up buying it, but all of the low end basses are handmade.
Yeah.
And we played that one at the last gig. That bad boy was.
Oh wow. I can't wait to see you guys live. So
goodness.
I guess this will finally be the last question, but what do you guys have in the queue for the rest of 2024 and beyond? Because I mean, you're just getting started, again, as far as I'm concerned. So
yeah, we're at the very beginning. So we have some very, very cool videos gonna premiere. We have some fine artists that's making like designs. We got merchandise going on. We got some shows. We're gonna work through the summer here. Just getting our groove together, getting our audience together, songwriting. Actually, I have a book. I wrote a book series called The Hood Books that actually will come out this year too. So,
oh wow, I can't wait to read them. That's awesome.
Yes, it's just I just doing these little short tales, novellas of just like little gangster tales, and they got a lot of snippets of my younger life and. A lot of places that I've been at and a lot of things that I've seen. I just intertwined them into like stories. We got great illustrator. What's her name? Julie. Julie. Yeah, she came in and it's going to be nice. So there's a lot going on. We're at the beginning. We're having fun. The good news is it's like at this stage of our life, everybody's got a job. We're really smart. We're really sensible. We're actually, I think, more tuned in musically than we've ever been because there's less outside noise. The only outside noise we have is what I feel that comes in and I write it out. And my band can interpret. That's what I love about my band. If they can interpret what I write into a musical representation of the feeling, because music is a feeling. So if I'm feeling something, and if it's dark, they know how to make it dark. If it's happy, or if if it's got some urgency to it, like we've been together long enough that they know in my voice and in the lyric pattern that, this is what this is, So the combination of that is like, I feel like if I did it by myself, it'd be shite, but all together, it's really good.
You got to have the team in place. And you know what? I just realized I had one more question I forgot to ask you, Ronzo.
Okay.
Where does the nickname The Beast come from? Come on, give us some backstory.
Okay. So my first musical endeavor was I was in one of the hot underground Nashville rap crews called the Brice back in the day.
Okay.
And so me, LA Mike, Dirty Bob, that used to be in the horrorcore with us, We had a rap group, and I was actually called Karma Kazi, and also the Rifleman, because we was like, you know, Deputy Dirty Bob and the Rifleman and the Sheriff. We did our first concert. You remember Cat's Music?
Yep.
We did
Cat's
an outdoor,
Records.
Cat's Records. We did an outdoor concert with Cat's Record, and just blew the doors off of it. That's my first live performance. And when I got on stage, my cousin L.A. Mack was like, "You're the beast." That's it. I was
And
like,
that's
"What?"
all
He
she
said,
wrote. There you
he
go.
said, "Dude, you're the beast." Even when we played in New York, a friend of ours, parents came to see us play, and she said, sometimes when I'm playing, she could see me emanate out and touch people. And I've heard that like more than 100 times. So he just says, that's when I call upon him, that's what I am, and that's what it is.
Hell yeah. Well,
Wait,
I appreciate that you turn into the beast when you perform, because it just gives your whole stage act that extra, you know, little something. So that's amazing. I love it.
Terry, can we ask you too about DJ KUTT?
Yes. How did DJ KUTT come about? Thank you, Glenn.
Or the various, you know, various names you used. Even
yeah, take us through those real quick.
When you
I'm
first
sorry,
started
guys.
out.
That's why this is unscripted. Like, I literally have a template, and I got off rails.
Well, I never had a actual DJ name when I was first DJing. I was in an opposite rap group, Reckless MCs. Ronzo.
The superior one.
I got my name from, it was actually Major KUTT,
right?
Because of the style that we had, more hardcore, was more militant,
right?
I cannot tell you where Loco came from. that was my name in actual Stone Deep. To this day, I can't quite put my finger on it as to if it was just the way that I performed on stage with Ron. Because I mean, we gave it 1,000% every night.
Yeah.
No matter how much energy we put into it, you know, we tried to make sure that we satisfied the crowd. But yeah, I can't tell you where Loco came from.
Does anyone else have any nicknames that I don't know about?
Nope.
Dave is called Robo Knee.
Because of my new knee.
He got a new knee, and he sounds great with it too. I wish he did. Yeah, great knee.
It actually works.
Well, hell yeah. Well, thank you guys. I'm out of questions. Is there anything else that you guys would like to discuss, or let anybody, you know, want to let anybody know about what you have going on?
I would just say, just be on the lookout for Stone Deep. You know, we're trying to gather a big old army, so to speak. So anybody that want to come and help us, again, if you're going to be on a road crew, it's free. We don't pay nobody nothing. It's all for the enjoyment of the game and for music, but you're going to get T-shirts out of it. You get backstage passes. You actually get, you know, hopefully we get some shirts that say road crew with the Stone Deep stuff on the front.
Well, I'll be part of the road crew if you ever come here. So you got me. I'll help you.
Hey,
and I was in the military, so I can lift stuff and move stuff, and I don't complain.
I got you. And we got a few people, face kickers in LA and some guys in Florida. It's actually Japan. We got getting some nice fans going. We're trying to get them all together. Hopefully, like, if we can't get to all of them, at some point we're going to start live streaming shows, so that if you're out of town, we're working up to that.
Right. Yeah. So people can just like look online, Instagram, Facebook, just find us like Stone Deep. We're everywhere. Check out Kung Fu Grip. That's the most recent re-release, and it's more coming in at the end of summer, beginning of fall. New videos like every month. We've been blessed to work with some crazy artists that
y'all been killing that, by the way.
Maybe that's like one of the things that like the internet's been really great at. They're like people like who are just maybe at home and like, you know, they're not like official, you know, whatever, they just make stuff, and like because they're just starting out, we've been able to work with them, and they make stuff that just makes your hair stand on end, and it's super weird and cool.
Yeah, we're premiering a big video July 1st. So that's July 1st.
Wait, what do y'all premiere July 1st? That's the day before my birthday. What y'all premiering?
Gonna be a video for a song called Hands.
Oh.
Yes.
Ooh. Well, I'm ready for that. I cannot wait. Well, that's all I've got. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. So Stone, this has been an amazing conversation with Stone Deep Nashville. And if you have never gone down the rabbit hole to discover the hardcore, Ludacris, Scatterbrain, Stone Deep, all affiliated, because that's something else I forgot to mention is Glenn, the man with the plan, was in Ludacris and Scatterbrain. And so if you don't know those bands, you need to go down that rabbit hole. So anyway,
you got to grab David and Tim's. We got to kind of everybody's got to do.
Yeah, let's plug everybody's project so they can go to. We need to get people going down the rabbit hole and discovering more about you guys.
David, give us the 10-second pitch.
Yeah, what you got, David?
So the long time ago was a Paradise Lost.
Yep.
Released an album on a MCA out of Nashville. A little more recently, before I hooked up with these guys, I had a band I put together called the Inferno Cats. And I got another side project I'm working on now too.
All excellent.
Then you got to keep me in the loop on that because I want to know about it.
Tim Brooks, what do you got going? Can anybody find some freedom of expression stuff?
I have no idea. I don't know if anything's like that out there now. It used to be, but I don't think it's out there now. No one's doing it. But I just keep working on our music and try to. It's so much. It's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah.
And we're hoping we see some Tim's amazing photography make it into book form at some point.
Oh, yeah. So Tim, you're a photographer too?
Yes.
Oh, go ahead. Too bad you can't do some photography for us. If you guys ever want to contribute anything to our publication, I'm down.
We'll work on it.
Amazing. Terry, got anything to pitch over there? Some gym down there in Tennessee you want to give a shout out to? Fitness studio.
Ever in Nashville. Come by the lab. The lab is where you need to be.
Terry's daughter has the most amazing fitness studio. Yeah. Is it Nashville proper? Where is it? What neighborhood?
It's Nashville proper. And it's actually, knock on wood that, it's coming along. They actually got so big they actually got another space.
Oh wow,
that's awesome.
Like 1,500 feet to 5,000 square foot.
And can we find them online? They got a website or a social media thing?
Should be able to find the lab on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, I can look and see if I can't find a link. We can throw that up. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I know we kind of came into this no rhyme or reason, but that's how I want it to be. Just organic, authentic conversation. You don't know where it's going to go. And that's why it's unscripted, because in this day and age, I feel like things are censored too much and people don't get to say what they really think. And so I want to always keep this as a free, space and platform. Well, until YouTube decides to, do whatever they
right.
Nicole, you're a treasure, man. I can't say enough thank you for having us and also just kind of, getting the points you want to talk about out there so we could kind of throw them around. I think it's super nice.
Well, I like being able to have an authentic conversation, about things, because, I feel like in this day and age, if you try to have a conversation with that on social media, then you have people coming at you with unnecessary negativity and they're not even realizing the question that you're actually asking. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like everyone's automatic response is just to be negative and fight each other. And I'm like,
outrage is the thing is outrage right now. I actually wrote a song about trolls too.
Nice. And do you see how this is going though with all your songwriting? See, it's leading you to things that are relevant these days, and then you're connecting the old with the new, and then boom,
Yep. It's a lot of people that's not being accountable, or they're getting away with stuff, and the sheriffs are back in town, so I'm going at them.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm really close to doing a diss track on some fuckers that don't get shit together, so I need to come with it here in a little bit.
The rifleman is back.
The rifleman is back.
Gotta teach these youngsters how it's done, right?
Yeah, but come on out, man. We want everybody's welcome in the Stone Deep. Everybody, bring it. As long as your energy's good, I'm good with you. And interface, man. If y'all want to hit us on AG, ask questions, or just talk about whatever, man. It's more connection based. So likes are good, but you got something to say it. That's all I got.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks, guys. And this is Nicole Brice with Mixed Alternative Magazine. I'm signing off. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Unscripted Verbiage, and stay tuned for what else we have in the queue. So thank you.
Thank you.